Good evening. I'm Rohit Sharma and welcome to Desi from DC, coming to you every night from heart of Washington. This is where America's power corridor meet India's prime time to break down the political, economic, and global stories that shape both nations live from Washington, DC. From Capitol Hill to Rise on a Hill, we connect the dots between what happens here in Washington and how it echoes back home in India. We begin tonight with the big stories of the day. Trump hosts Saudi Crown Prince at the White House. Eric Trump slams Mamdani over Indians. Texas governor labels Muslim groups as terrorists. Deepak Chopra appears in Epstein documents. And UN endorses Trump Gaza peace plan. U.S. President Donald Trump defended Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman during his first White House visit in over 7 years, saying the prince knew nothing about the 2018 killing of journalist Jamal Khashoggi. Trump's statement contradicts U.S. intelligence assessments that Mohammed bin Salman approved the operation. The visit came as Crown Prince sought to rebuild his global image after widespread criticism for killing crackdown on dissent at home. Trump praised bin Salman's human rights efforts and highlighted Saudi Arabia's planned $1 trillion investment in the U.S., up from a previous $600 billion pledge, without giving much details.
Mr. President, today and tomorrow we're going to announce that we are going to increase that $600 billion to almost $1 trillion of investment, real investment and real opportunity by details in many areas. And the agreement that we are signing today in many areas in technology, in AI, in earth materials, magnet, etc., that will create a lot of investment opportunities.
So you are doing that now. You're saying to me now that the $600 billion will be $1 trillion.
Definitely, because what we are signing, it will facilitate that, and we
I like
will
that
build
very
on
much.
it.
Go ahead.
You worked hard.
No, that's great. I appreciate that. That's great. We're doing numbers that nobody's ever done. And in all fairness, if you didn't see potential in the U.S., you wouldn't be doing that.
Definitely.
You don't want to lose money.
As you said, Mr. President, it's the most hottest country in the planet. But what you're creating is not about opportunity today. It's about also long-term opportunity in the rest of America that will affect American economy positively in the next coming decades. Preparing the right foundation of emerging technologies, that's a game changer for America in a good way, and we want to be part of it.
The White House welcomed bin Salman with military honors, a cannon salute, and fighter jet flyover. The visit included a formal lunch, a black tie dinner, giving the Crown Prince many of the ceremonial trappings of a state visit.
Well, thank you very much, everybody. Crown Prince Mohammed, we're delighted to have you with us at the White House. Very special, very, very special. Saudi Arabia announced that it will invest an incredible $600 billion. That means jobs. That means jobs. It's also good for your companies, but I'm only interested in the jobs for your country. I'm not interested in the profits, but I guess the profits are there too. But $600 billion in the United States. And today I said, any way you can up that? And he said, I am going to up that to $1 trillion. So he's investing $1 trillion into the United States. But this week we're also signing exciting agreements on civil nuclear energy, critical minerals, and artificial intelligence, numbers that nobody's ever heard of before. Maybe even most importantly, in a sense, the auto plants, they're all pouring.
But today it's a special day. We think the horizon of the economical cooperation between Saudi Arabia and the rest of America, it's bigger and wider in many areas. We've been signing a lot of agreements that are going to open the door to develop the relation deeper in many areas, and we're going to work on it. We believe the opportunities is huge. So we're going to focus on implementation and keep increasing the opportunities between our both countries. So thank you again, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Khashoggi's video criticized Trump's defense of bin Salman, saying there is no justification for her husband's murder and calling for a meeting with the Crown Prince. Human rights group continue to scrutinize bin Salman for past abuses even as he promotes social and economic reforms at home. Now, Trump emphasized he has no conflict of interest with his family's business dealings in Saudi Arabia, saying he has left the family business entirely. Analysts note that bin Salman is also seeking a civilian nuclear deal with the US, though negotiations remain complex due to proliferation concerns. The visit underscores the close U.S. Saudi relationship, balancing economic deals, military cooperation, and ongoing questions about human rights and justice for Khashoggi. President Donald Trump and Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman brushed off questions about the 2018 killing of journalist Jamal Khashoggi during the prince's first U.S. visit since the murder. Sitting side by side in the Oval Office, Trump called the ABC News reporter asking about Khashoggi's fake news, saying a lot of people did not like the gentleman and things happened, but he knew nothing about it and we can leave it at that.
President, is it appropriate, Mr. President, for your family to be doing business in Saudi Arabia while you're president? Is that a conflict of interest? And Your Royal Highness, the U.S. intelligence concluded that you orchestrated the brutal murder of a journalist. 9/11 families are furious that you are here in the Oval Office. Why should Americans trust you?
Who are you with? No, who are you with?
I'm with ABC News, sir.
You're with who?
ABC News, sir.
Fake news. ABC fake news. One of the
But the
worst.
question is
One of the
legitimate,
worst.
sir.
Bin Salman denied ordering Khashoggi's killing and said the incident was painful, adding that Saudi Arabia conducted investigations and improved its systems to prevent such events from happening again. He also commented on 9/11 claims, saying some reports were meant to harm U.S. Saudi relations. Khashoggi was a U.S. resident, a critic of Saudi government, and his killing sparked global outrage. The visit highlights ongoing tension between diplomacy, accountability, and human rights concerns in U.S. Saudi relations.
I feel painful about the families of 9/11 in America, but we have to focus on reality. Reality based on CIA documents and based on a lot of documents that Osama bin Laden, he used Saudi people in that event for one main purpose, is to destroy this relation, to destroy the American-Saudi relation. That's the purpose of 9/11. So whoever buying that means they are helping Osama bin Laden's purpose of destroying this relation. He knows that strong relation between America and Saudi Arabia, it's bad for extremism, it's bad for terrorism. And we have to approve him wrong and to build our relation and continue developing our relation. It's critical in the safety of the world. It's critical against extremism and terrorism.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott has declared the Council on American Islamic Relations, or CAIR, and the Muslim Brotherhood as foreign terrorist organizations. The move bans them from buying property in Texas and allows the state to take legal action against affiliated groups. Abbott said these organizations support terrorism across the globe and try to break our laws through violence, intimidation, and harassment. He added that they are not welcome in Texas. Experts note that states cannot officially label foreign terrorist organization, and only the U.S. Secretary of State has the authority under the federal law. Abbott's declaration only affects the Texas state law enforcement, allowing the state attorney to sue the groups linked to CAIR or the Muslim Brotherhood. Now, CAIR is a Washington-based civil rights group that provides legal help to Muslims facing discrimination. The organization has long denied any terrorist ties, and in a statement on X, CAIR accused Abbott of stoking anti-Muslim sentiment and said the group opposes all forms of unjust violence, including terrorism and hate crimes. Abbott, who's seeking re-election next year, argued that Muslim Brotherhood and CAIR aim to impose Sharia law globally. Critics say his action heightened tensions with Muslim communities and exceed the authority of a state governor. The impact of Abbott's designation is mostly symbolic at the federal level, but could lead to legal battles within Texas as the governor continues his push against the groups. And Justin, the Senate has unanimously approved the Jeffrey Epstein file release bill. Now, this bill, which again has gained a lot of traction in the past few days since President Trump endorsed it and asked Republicans to vote for it, was passed unanimously in the Senate, meaning the bill now heads over to President's desk, and President Trump has said he's going to sign it, ending one of the biggest political dramas that has engulfed President Trump's administration in his second term. Moving on, the U.S. House of Representatives has voted overwhelmingly to make the Justice Department release all files on the convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. The vote was 427 to 1, almost unanimous, sending bill now to the Senate for approval. The bill overcomes months of resistance from President Trump, who has said he will sign it if it passes the Senate. The lone vote against the measure came from Representative Clay Higgins of Louisiana. Abuse survivors gathered outside the Capitol, sharing their stories of trauma and calling for justice. Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene spoke alongside survivors, saying these women have fought the most horrific fight that no woman should have to fight. Survivor Jenna Lisa Jones, who voted for Trump, directly pleaded with him, asking him to stop making this political. Speaker Mike Johnson, while calling the bill a raw, obvious political exercise, said he would vote for it to be seen as somebody who is for transparency. Democrats hailed the vote as a historic victory, and House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries said the survivors and the American people deserve full and complete transparency. The House Oversight Committee has already released thousands of pages of documents from Epstein's estate, showing connections to global leaders, financiers, and important political figures. With the House's strong approval, the bill now moves to the Senate, bringing the nation a step closer to the full disclosure of Epstein's files and answers for survivors seeking justice. Google's boss is warning of irrationality in the AI boom, and he says no company is immune, not even his own. With $1.4 trillion in deals and stock valuation doubling overnight, fears are growing that this looks and reminds people of the dot-com bubble. Sundar Pichai sat down with the BBC to issue a stark warning about what's coming next. Let's have a look at this report.
Is the AI boom about to burst? Google's boss is sounding the alarm, and his warning is impossible to ignore. Sundar Pichai, the man who runs Alphabet, Google's parent company, sat down with the BBC at Google's California headquarters. His message? There's irrationality in the current AI frenzy. The numbers tell the story. $1.4 trillion in deals swirling around OpenAI. Alphabet's stock has doubled in 7 months to $3.5 trillion. Nvidia just became the world's first $5 trillion company. Companies are spending astronomical sums on a technology that's still finding its footing. And the bubble fears are growing louder by the day. Sound familiar? It should. This looks a lot like the dot-com bubble of the late 90s, when internet stocks soared on pure hype, then crashed spectacularly in 2000. Companies collapsed overnight. Jobs vanished. Pensions took a devastating hit. Fortunes were wiped out. And Pichai admits something crucial. No company is immune. Not even Google. Yes, AI will be transformative, just like the internet turned out to be profound. But not all this money will pay off. Here's the reality check. OpenAI is expected to make less than 1,000th of the planned investment this year. The math simply does not add up. But Pichai believes Google has an advantage. The company owns what he calls the full stack. Everything from specialized AI chips to YouTube's massive data reserves, to cutting-edge models and frontier science. That integrated approach, he argues, gives Google a better chance to weather the storm. But still there are costs. Real costs. AI is devouring energy at an alarming rate. Google's own climate targets are slipping because of it. The company still aims for net zero by 2030, but Pichai admits the rate at which we are hoping to make progress will be impacted. And then there's the human cost. Jobs, careers, entire professions are about to change. Pichai calls AI the most profound technology humankind has worked on. Every profession, teachers, doctors, lawyers will be transformed. The people who will do well are the people who learn how to use these tools, Pichai warns. Adapt or fall behind. That's the reality. The AI revolution is real. The investment is massive. The potential is enormous. But revolutions are messy, and this one might get a lot messier before it gets better. The question is not whether AI will change everything. It's whether we are ready for what comes next. With Debangna Datta, Bureau Report, India Today Global.
Wellness guru Deepak Chopra's name has surfaced in newly released documents from Jeffrey Epstein's estate, revealing multiple meetings spanning several years with the convicted sex offender. According to records released by the House Oversight Committee, Chopra appears in Epstein's calendar at least a dozen times across 2016, 2017, and even in 2019. That was 3 months before Epstein's arrest on the federal sex trafficking charges. The documents show one-on-one meetings, including at least one in Paris in 2016, in November of 2016, as well as group gatherings. Epstein invited Chopra to events including a dinner with filmmaker Woody Allen and his wife Sue Ye. In April 2019, Epstein's calendar listed lunch with Chopra alongside meetings with former Obama White House counsel Catherine Rumbler, political strategist Steve Bannon, and investment banker Robert Kuhn. Chopra has explained the relationship, saying Epstein was introduced to him as someone who could potentially fund research on the brain and consciousness. After the meeting, he shared he suffered from insomnia and expressed interest in learning meditation, which I taught him. That's what Chopra stated. Our meetings focused solely on practicing meditation, lasted 30 minutes each. Now, email exchanges released in the document show Chopra asking Epstein for information about Marla Maples, who happened to be President Trump's second wife, writing, "Anything we share is between us. I share nothing with anyone, but I trust you." In November 2016, Epstein shared an article with Chopra about dropped lawsuit, and that civil lawsuit that alleged sexual assault involving both Epstein and Trump. When Chopra asked if a civil case against Epstein has also been dropped and Epstein confirmed it, Chopra replied by saying good, and followed by saying, "See you this Saturday at 2:30 p.m. New York City's mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani is facing sharp criticism from Eric Trump, who claims Mamdani hates the Indian population. The remark comes amid broader Republican concerns about Mamdani's progressive policies and what they see as a shift toward far-left governance in the city, in New York City. Speaking on Fox News, Eric Trump called Mamdani a socialist communist who wants to nationalize grocery stores, wants to arrest Netanyahu, hates the Jewish people, and hates the Indian population. He urged the mayor-elect to focus instead on basics like safe streets, clean streets, reasonable taxes, suggesting the city could thrive without government intervention. Now, Eric Trump said that Mamdani's rise reflects a larger trend he sees in New York, warning that far-left policies are undermining major American cities. Mamdani, however, has not directly responded to these accusations of personal hatred, but has consistently rejected attacks from his political opponents. Earlier this year, Mamdani pushed back when U.S. President Donald Trump questioned his citizenship and threatened deportation if he interfered with ICE operations. Mamdani called these comments an abuse of power and vowed to continue his work undeterred. Eric Trump has also linked Mamdani to other progressive leaders, including Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, AOC, citing her opposition to Amazon's proposed New York headquarters as an example of policies that, in his view, hurt the city's growth. During his election night speech, Mamdani directly addressed Donald Trump, saying, "Donald Trump, since I know you're watching, I have 4 words for you. Turn the volume up," and added it is the city that gave the rise to him. The Trump administration announced on Tuesday that U.S. Department of Education will undergo a major partial breakup, with several operations being shifted to other federal agencies. Now, the move claims and aims to reduce federal bureaucracy and return more control over education to the states. Secretary of Education Linda McMahon said the plan will cut layers of red tape in Washington while still supporting students, families, and schools. She emphasized continuing partnerships with the states to improve programs, boost K-12 education, and restore excellence to higher education. The department currently manages a 1.6 trillion student loan portfolio, including loan disbursement and forgiveness programs. The Trump administration argues that handling student loans at the department is inefficient, comparing it to a bank like Wells Fargo, which has far more employees to manage similar amounts of money. Earlier this year, mass layoffs reduced department staff by half. The partial dismantling builds on a March executive order by President Trump calling for winding down the department's operations. Officials say some responsibilities, including student loan management, will move to the other agencies better equipped to serve the students. Rapper Nicki Minaj made an unexpected appearance at United Nations headquarters in New York. She wasn't there to talk about music, though. The Barbie World star delivered a powerful speech about religious violence in Nigeria, praising President Donald Trump and his efforts to protect Christians facing persecution. Let's have a look.
I would like to thank President Trump for prioritizing this issue and for his leadership on the global stage in calling for urgent action to defend Christians in Nigeria, to combat extremism, and to bring a stop to violence against those who simply want to exercise their natural right to freedom of religion or belief.
And that wraps up tonight's edition of Desi from DC. This is Rohit Sharma for India Today Global. And don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button before you leave. And as always, stay tuned, stay informed, and stay curious.